Hello, everybody, and welcome along to another episode of Gunners in Oz. I'll be doing a review of Arsenal versus FC Cologne from the other night. Sorry for the late upload. However, life happens. Um, Also, with games being on Friday, and the weekend, things roll over. But we're here now. We're doing a review of Arsenal versus FC Cologne. Um, wow, what madness! That was such a crazy game the other night. Where to begin? We have to start with what happened. The hour delay. Um, I woke up. I mean, many of my audience here in Australia, of course, would have woke up for the game at 4:45 a.m. only to find out that the game starts at 6:05 because of the rioting or 20,000 Cologne fans. That's I think where we should start with this. The 20,000 Cologne fans who came in down from Germany to support the team, and you saw it on Twitter earlier in the game. They were storming this. Just shortly after I ended my review show, all the footage on Twitter happened with all the fans were crawling in through the streets of Islington. They had all their flares, and they were up and down. The atmosphere was crazy, but Arsenal's away section does not fit 20,000, so that's what created the issue. So a lot of the stewards. I mean, I wasn't there, so this is just my take on my understanding of what was going on. Is that the stewards were denying entry to a lot of the Cologne fans. A lot of them happened to manage to get tickets from Arsenal supporters or from Red membership or so on, and so they just ended up just storming in the game, and there was a lot of fighting going in to try to get inside. They were trying to barricade the turnstiles. There's a lot of just madness going on. I mean, I was listening to some of Robbie's stories, and he was saying he walked out of his car, and all he could hear was German accents. I mean, it was an absolute madness before the game. And to be fair, all the jokes about finally we're going to have atmosphere at the Emirates. Wow, it was incredible. Like, if this is what Europa League is like, then bring it on, because this is what real football fans are like outside of in Europe. And it was cool to see it. I mean, at the Emirates. Maybe look, the hierarchy are also not gonna like it, and of course now we've been fined by UEFA for the organization of the way that what turned out. And it's gonna be an issue. Look, it's an issue that Arsenal's gonna have to fix. Luckily for us, the Cologne fans were well mannered somewhat. They weren't there to hurt anybody or to get into fights. Um, However, if we can have opposition, maybe from the Red Star Belgrade or whatever, which could be a lot worse. And if they can get breach sort of Arsenal's the way that we set up everything, like Cologne was able to, then it could be a problem. So Arsenal need to investigate how Cologne got into those sections. I mean, there are people in the Diamond Club, there are people in the North Bank, the the junior gunner section. The junior gunners weren't even there the other night because it was unsafe for kids to be around, and saw that basically the entire clock end was covered with Cologne fans. It was just insane. I mean, I saw Timo Horn when Alexis Sanchez was taking a free kick, and they zoomed in on the TV to Timo Horn, and all you can see behind him is just red smoke. You're like, whoa, was that the Emirates? It's so. I mean, that was incredible. That's a European night in Europe, but it was brought to Emirates, and it was insane. On to the game now. I'm going to be doing a quick review of this one. The game started pretty slowly from Arsenal. I mean, obviously the 1 hour delay would affect Arsenal. Arsene Wenger's lineup didn't exactly go the way as I previewed, but it was a lineup that I was happy with nonetheless. David Ospina started in goal. You had Maitland-Niles, as I said, started at left wing back. Monreal made it instead of Callum Chambers, because I had Callum Chambers in there. Mertesacker and Rob Holding. And also Hector Bellerin, which I was expecting Reece Nelson to start right wing back. Reece Nelson does feature in this game, however, not from the start. Hector Bellerin started at right wing back. El Neni started in midfield alongside Alex Iwobi, that was an interesting one. I did not expect him to be playing in the center of the park. And then Alexis Sanchez started, and as well as Theo Walcott and Olivier Giroud. That's what I said in my preview would happen as your front three. So that's how it went. Not a bad 11. It basically was everything except for the two players. There are the three players. I think I was 3 players off. Chambers didn't play, but of course, as Bradley said towards the end of my preview, he wasn't going to play anyway. But the 2 players we were excited to see didn't start in the lineup. They did come off the bench, however, and I think they made quite a nice impact in the game when they were there. But the game itself started off slowly from Arsenal. Cologne really, they were up for it. They came out in the first few minutes, and David Ospina makes just a really poor error. I mean, he comes out, there's not much danger. He comes out to clear the ball. The ball lands at the feet of the one of the Cologne players. He passes it to John Cordoba, a player who I spoke about in my preview. And what did I say? He's a poacher. He's a good striker. I mean, he hasn't gone off the mark quite yet, but now he has against Arsenal. As I said, may happen. And it was just he smartly just put the ball over David Ospina's head into the net, and it was a disastrous start to the game from Arsenal. However, there was a sense to it where I felt like that would be the only goal Cologne would score in the game. They didn't really threaten much throughout beyond that. The rest of the half was sort of Arsenal trying to put together attacks. Theo Walcott, I'll talk about him now, but he was just awful. Like, he just was offside all the time. I mean, he had a shot not long after their goal. He literally just went so wide. It's just like, oh, Theo. I mean, he's not a first choice player for Arsenal, and maybe these are the games he plays. But even in the games like these, when we're okay with him playing, he still frustrates me right now. I miss the old Theo Walcott, the one who used to get in behind people with pace and created problems for people, and it used to actually be a good finisher. I just don't know where it's gone wrong for Theo Walcott now. But we had a few chances. We had a few crosses into the box for Olivier Giroud. I know Alexis Sanchez had one that Giroud looped over, and Timo Horn made a few saves from Olivier Giroud in the first half. However, we went into the second half to halftime quite disappointing. However, second half, Arsenal makes the change that really changes the game and brings on the guy who was my man of the match, which was Sead Kolasinac. I actually had been thinking about this for a while after the game. Was it Kolasinac or Alexis Sanchez? But suddenly Arsenal have a fight and a bite about them at the beginning of the second half, and it pays off. A ball is played through to Theo Walcott by, I believe, Alexis Sanchez or El Neni, and he stays onside. He tries to shoot the ball. The ball gets blocked, but the ball just sort of sits up in the air perfectly, and Kolasinac just he adjusts his body correctly and reads the flight of the ball, and he smashes the ball past Horn into the corner, and he was equalizing. His game on, and he pulled off his shirt, and he had a Schalke shirt underneath to try to tease the Cologne support. And it was game on. And I think from there, it seemed to me that there was only going to be one winner. There were a few times where it seemed like Cordoba was going to get into behind Arsenal's back four, but Bellerin made a nice clearance. The time where Ospina made a save, but that was later on in the game. But the next massive point in this game, Alex Iwobi gets the ball and he plays like a ball that just goes really wide out. And the man we've been talking about all summer, with the transfer links, and he's clearly our best player at this team. He shows his class. He picks the ball up on the far left wing, literally almost by the touchline. He takes on a guy. He gets to the box. He cuts in past 2 defenders like they're not even there, and then just literally with the smallest space, just gets off just a shot. There's a perfectly placed shot at the top corner, which sent everyone into delirium. I jumped off my seat. I literally was backed up against this wall. I literally was sitting on this couch and I ended up at that wall because that goal was just like, it was bangers, man. And like, no one saw it coming. It took the crowd by surprise, took the commentary by surprise. It's just an absolute world-class player. Maybe this is the reason why he's still on our team, and he could still produce moments like that. What a brilliant player. And it's sad that we might lose him for free at the end of the year. But while you have him, you have to enjoy him. And I think today he showed that he still does have some love for this club. He loves playing football. And I don't think we'll have much issue with Alexis Sanchez's commitment on the pitch specifically while he's here. So that was really encouraging to see. At that point, Arsenal make a substitution. Alex Iwobi comes off. And Jack Wilshere, for the first time since in my preview, I wasn't able to really tell you because I was looking at a text message from Russia before he came on. But the last time Alexis Sanchez made an appearance was back in August last year when we were away to Leicester. He came on also as a substitute in that game. And he came on, I think he looked really good in this game. And he was involved in the third goal for Arsenal, which he plays through Theo Walcott, who, again, misses. He gets his shot saved, but Hector Bellerin is good at being behind and reacting and putting the ball back into the rebound. And it went 3-1. Game was set and match at that point for Arsenal. And then Reiss Nelson comes on, and he, in the 10 minutes that he was on the pitch, did more than Theo Walcott did in the 80 minutes he was on the pitch. The combination play he played, there was the one, I didn't talk actually earlier about Maitland-Niles, who when he moves to central midfield looked very good and almost scored before Alexis Sanchez's goal. I should have mentioned that, but that was also brilliant. But the combination, there was a one combination play, which was Alexis Kolasinac, Wilshere and Reiss Nelson went together, and Alexis had a ball which he then chipped over and then ended up over going to no one. Bellerin tried to save it at the end, but the combination play, you could see the kid is confident when the ball. He's creative. He's not afraid to take on defenders, and he's very skilled, very talented. He's definitely one to watch for. The hype is definitely, you can back up the hype by watching him. Like what we were talking about, we're excited to see him, and from the bits he gave us in this game, he was very good. But that was it. The Arsenal won 3-1 against Cologne, which was a very good result for Arsenal. It gets us off to winning ways in the European, in the Europa League. It's going to be interesting. When I rewatch myself choking up on saying Europa League. But yeah, it was a good start to the campaign there. And we move on to Sunday against Chelsea. But first, I will give you my match rating. David Ospina in goal. I'm going to give him. See, the error is so bad. He makes a few good saves. In the second half, he saves one from Marcel Reese. He saves one from Cordoba. He saves one from Bittencourt. So that I would have given him a 5, just for the goalie error, but I'm going to give him a 6 because he does save himself later on in the game with a good amount of saves. So I'm going to give David Ospina a 6 out of 10. Moving on, Hector Bellerin. I thought Hector Bellerin was quite good in this game. He struggled in the first half, I think, mainly with his attacking. There was a time when the ball was played to him and it was too far. I think Walcott's passes weren't necessarily that great to play him on, but he struggled at the beginning. But second half, he was very influential. Got a lot of good crosses in the box. I think he was really involved in the play, and of course, he scored the goal. So for Hector Bellerin in this one, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. I know you might be thinking, I've been saying how great he's been, but some of the players were played a bit better. So I think Hector Bellerin rightly fits in about the 7 out of 10 category. Moving on to Rob Holding. Now, Rob Holding, I think, was poor in this game. He was substituted at halftime. Kolasinac came on for him. For me, Rob Holding is going to get a 4 out of 10. I mean, there was time when he literally came all the way up the pitch, and he left the other two players exposed. Luckily, it didn't end up with anything, but just he was all over the place. I think he needs time to maybe go back to play for the under-23s and maybe just get some more confidence under his belt before coming back in to the team. I don't want Guess to give up on him because I think he's going to be a great striker, but as of now, maybe it's time to give him a rest. I think play him maybe next week against Doncaster Rovers, but for now, Rob was not convincing. In the middle, Per Mertesacker, I'm also going to give him a 7 out of 10. I think he was solid. He did nothing wrong. I mean, the goal had nothing to do with big old Perry. I felt secure with him. 7 out of 10 for me. I think, solid game. As well, I'm going to give 7 out of 10 to Nacho Monreal, who also played at center back when we switched to a back four in the second half. So I think he was solid. I didn't feel he was threatened much. So also Nacho Monreal a 7 out of 10. For Ainsley Maitland-Niles, this is an interesting one because he struggled in the first half, but he did look lively. But I don't think he had great partnership with Alexis down that left. But he played so well when he played in central midfield. In fact, I'm tempted to give Ainsley Maitland-Niles a 7.5 out of 10. I know he's not an 8. The players I'm giving 8 and 9s, and this one you will see later on why I'm giving them 8 and 9s. But Maitland-Niles fits himself somewhere in between a 7 and an 8, so I'm making him a 7.5. Into central midfield, Mohamed El Neni was solid as usual, made tackles. He cut back. He helped start the play, move us from the defense to attack. I think he's just fluid. He just does his thing. And for me, Mohamed El Neni, a 7 out of 10. Alex Iwobi, I wasn't quite impressed with in this game. I think it was a bit beyond him. He looked a bit better in the second half. But in the first half, I mean, it's not the position he's meant to play. I'm going to give Alex Iwobi a 6 out of 10. So for me, Alexis Sanchez is the next player on this team. And I think Alexis Sanchez had a subpar-ish first half, but he was always like Alexis Sanchez style, running, putting his 100% into the team. You can see the effort was fully there for Alexis. And the second half, he scores a beautiful goal, and he's involved in all of our attack. For me, Alexis Sanchez is going to get an 8 out of 10 for me. It's not the best Alexis Sanchez performance I've ever seen, but when you're a world-class player and you can create opportunities like Alexis Sanchez did to score goals, magical moments, that's what you got him in the team for. And for me, he was 8 out of 10. Theo Walcott. Now, he was poor. He was really poor for me. He did get in with his pace, but he was offside. I don't think he really threatened them that much. He does create maybe 2 of the goals, possibly the Kolasinac one when he gets blocked, but again, that's another one. I mean, that wasn't even meant to be at Kolasinac's feet. It wasn't like Theo Walcott intended that. The ball was blocked by the defender, and that's how the ball gets there. So I don't give Theo credit for that. I also don't give Theo credit for the Bellerin one because the shot is saved. The only reason ball comes back to Bellerin is because it comes off of Horn's hands. But that's not because of Theo Walcott. So for me, Theo Walcott was the worst player for Arsenal today. And I'm going to give Theo Walcott a 4 out of 10. He was just piss poor. Just like Rob Holding. I give Rob Holding a 4. Theo Walcott's also going to get a 4. And meanwhile, Olivier Giroud, I think he was all right. I think he did his role. He was a hold-up man. He was a target man, especially in the first half. I think he had a solid game, but I'm going to give Olivier Giroud a 7 out of 10. Moving on now to the bench, and this is a very rare occasion where one of the players coming off the bench is going to be my man of the match, and that is Sead Kolasinac. He gets a 9 out of 10 for me. He comes on to the game. He changes the game. His physicality goes back. He makes tackles. He comes in. He goes forward. He pushes Alexis Sanchez on that left wing, and Arsenal suddenly looked like a different prospect once Kolasinac came onto the pitch. I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. He was brilliant in this game. He scored a goal, so can't complain. And the other two substitutes also were very happy. I was very happy with Jack Wilshere. I mean, he doesn't make a massive impact on the game, but he looks very good while he was on the pitch. I'm going to give Jack Wilshere a 7 out of 10, and Reece Nelson, the same for him. He looked very good from the periods he was in the game, so I'm also going to give him a 7 out of 10. So that's been my review of Arsenal Cologne. Tonight we're going to have a preview of the big game, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Hopefully I'll be having some of my main panel with me. Today I just had to cover the Cologne view for you. For those of you who like the video, please leave it a like. Please comment, subscribe to the channel. You know, I'm just so happy to be able to bring this coverage to you. I mean, I love this football club, and to be able to share it with you guys and give a voice to the fans down here. I mean, guys like Anup or Troy or Roshan or Bradley. I mean, Bradley did get a voice somewhat when he was on Arsenal Fan TV, but they don't get a consistent voice to the rest of Arsenal internet world. So I think it's been great to give a voice. And this is such a great. I'm loving this project for me, and the fact that I'm here on a Sunday giving. About to play 2K18, but I was like, you know what? I gotta give content out to my subscribers and to my viewers. So we'll see you again tonight for Arsenal versus Chelsea preview. That's going to be a big game. Don't know what to make of it quite yet. I'll give you more of that tonight. But until then, I've been Anton, and this has been Gunners of Oz, and up the Gunners.